Pay attention to this girl on the phone. She is talking to the police station. The reason? Her cousin is a victim of her own husband's assault. Every day, he verbally and physically assaults her. Lucia, poor thing, is a young woman who married a man she didn't love. When she realizes that the call it is with the police, she pretends to be talking to a pizza place so as not to make her husband even angrier. The man does not allow her to have basic freedoms, like talking on her cell phone, and the call center attendant, cleverly, also decided to lie and talked as if she were an employee of the pizza place. The man, named Chris, refuses to pay for the food, and the poor wife replies that she can pay on her own. On the phone, the police dispatch attendant explains that she pretended to be someone else and offers to help her. First, she needs a name. Very frightened, she claims that the request is in Lucia's name. Having said this, she has to answer if the attacker is armed, a detail confirmed by the frightened woman, obviously speaking as if she were ordering a pizza. With this information, all that is missing is the address of the house, but Lucia lives in such a prison that she doesn't even know the name of the street or the house number. To try to get around this, she points out that there is a fence around the property. In order for the police car to get there, the attendant asks for a reference. Lucia emphasizes that there is a park in front of the residence and a small market on the corner of the street. The violent man loses his temper. He orders her to take care of the house, which he says is just like her, all messy. He throws the cell phone away, to the despair of the employee on the other end of the line, and Lucia goes to the device. Always shouting, he inquires what she thinks she is doing. She, poor woman, replies that she just wanted to finish the pizza order. He doesn't mind this and again orders her to go and clean up immediately. Her cousin Amanda feels compassion and goes running to Lucia. She speaks in her ear that a signal be made for them to get help. The woman talking to the battered wife is equally in despair. When she can no longer talk to Lucia, she contacts the police officer closest to the imagined location. She points out that it is an emergency situation, but does not yet know the precise address. She explains that the victim talked about a square and a market close to this house. According to the tracking system, it is in the Santa Teresa neighborhood. However, she cannot find the specific street. With this incomplete information, the police officer undertakes to do his best. In the house, Amanda goes to a room, opens a drawer and takes out some things. Notice that she is holding a pen. Unfortunately, in the middle of the way Chris catches her, the girl replies that it's for school, a justification that doesn't convince the cruel man. He again questions what she wants to do with that. The frightened girl claims that it is for a project, calling her an imbecile. The cowardly husband assures that he has had enough of his wife's cousin in the house. He then takes off his belt so that she, in his words, will also learn a lesson. Despite all that she has already suffered, Lucia acts in a courageous manner and prevents her beloved cousin from being hurt. When his act is questioned, he threatens to beat his poor wife once again, who silently demonstrates her fear. Screaming, he orders her to go to the bedroom and threatens to hit the girl with his belt, but he gives up and with his psycho laugh goes towards where his wife is. With the phone still ringing, the woman hears Lucia's screams. Even though she begs for forgiveness and begs him to stop, Chris continues to commit one of the most disgusting crimes possible. Meanwhile, Amanda begins writing the word "help" on the piece of white cloth. She cleverly sticks it in the window of the house so that someone can see this desperate cry for help. On the phone with his coworker, the policeman regrets that he has not yet found the house. The woman emphasizes that he needs to fix it, because the situation in the house is getting worse and worse. At that moment, he looks to the side and sees the cloth with the distress call. He comments that he thinks it is time to turn on the siren, but the woman points out that the aggressor is very dangerous. In the call, she had to pretend to be from a pizza parlor, so she suggests that he find some other way to arrest him without putting the women's lives at risk. The policeman promises that he will find a way. In fact, he reveals that he already has an idea of what to do. In the street, he spots another man who works delivering pizzas. Just look at the coincidence promoted by God. The policeman goes to him, introduces himself, and claims to need the man's uniform. The delivery man is confused, but the officer explains it is an emergency. Respecting the authority, he delivers the pizza and starts to take off his uniform so that the policeman can wear it. Besides the uniform, the clever policeman also keeps the pizza and the cap. When he arrives at the house, the aggressive man asks him what he wants. The undercover policeman replies that it is to deliver the pizza. The supposed delivery man asks to use the bathroom of the house, but the cowardly man refuses. The policeman, though, is a well-trained professional and is not willing to give up so easily. He notices that the door has been left open and opens it slowly so as not to draw the aggressor's attention. He walks slowly through the house and Amanda, the brave cousin, realizes that the nightmare is about to end. When the policeman appears, she is startled at first. He explains he is the policeman and questions if she is alone in the house, which is denied by her with a nod. She points out that her cousin is also in the house. To the policeman, she reveals that Lucia is locked inside another room. At this point, the policeman informs her that he will help them, but needs her to help him as well, and the brave Amanda accepts. A little later, the cousin goes to Lucia, her face even more bruised. The girl says that they need to hide and informs that it's because a policeman has arrived. To avoid any risk to their lives, the officer suggests that they stay hidden somewhere safe. They then decide to lock themselves in the bathroom. The dangerous man notices a strange movement and goes there. He shouts for Lucia, who doesn't answer and remains hidden. He gets even more nervous and talking to himself promises that she will regret not respecting his orders. When he expects to find Lucia, Chris actually ends up running into the police officer dressed as a delivery man. At that moment, from the bathroom the poor two hear noises of gunshots. Fortunately, it is the officer who comes to them. He reveals that everything is fine, including with her husband, but also assures them that he will answer in court for everything he has done. The two are clearly relieved to have finally put an end to this horror story they were living daily. The policeman assures them that they will be fine. Suddenly, his cell phone begins to ring. It's the woman from the police department. She asks if her coworker is all right, as well as the two girls. He reassures her that the situation is under control. She is a kind woman and requests to talk directly to Lucia, and the policeman, understanding the importance of this moment, does so. On the phone, the woman asks if Lucia is feeling well. She answers yes and thanks her for everything. The emergency call attendant is relieved that the two are okay in the end. The poor woman thanks her once again and ends the call. Before leaving, the policeman informs them that a lawyer will visit them for support, then he leaves so that Chris can pay for his crimes. All women deserve to be respected and to have a life free of violence. If you are going through this situation, don't stay silent. Denounce it. Remember that you are not alone.